Hey everybody, this is Craig Cuttle, the Director of Nature Line School, coming to you today to do a review on the LT Wright Overland machete. We're pretty excited that the guys sent us one of these, as well as this bomb-proof leather sheath. What we're going to do is we're going to give you a nice review on all the specs, as well as we're going to teach you a good outdoor lesson today. So glad you joined us. It has an overall length of 19 inches. The sharpened edge is 12 inches in length. The steel is 3/32 of an inch thick, 1075. It has a convex grind. The handles are a very comfortable micarta. And some other fantastic things you'll notice about it. It has this two-step patina, much like on the Bushcrafter HC. Check out our video on that as well. It also comes with a custom molded kydex sheath, or the leather one that these guys sent me. And it has a bungee lanyard that acts both as a useful tool on the sheath and for a hand loop. Here's the situation. I like doing reviews on blades, and I love it when companies send me stuff, but I don't like just doing the boring, hey, here's the metal, here's the grind, and all that sort of thing, because that bores me to tears. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how we're gonna utilize this machete and this pine tree that's fallen to build a great nesting structure for birds and any number of creatures that are gonna go on the forest floor. In my mind, if you wanna be an outdoorsman, you've gotta be conservation stewardship minded. And in that regard, we're gonna show you how to build this structure utilizing this machete. So I've been working with the Department of Fish and Wildlife here in the state of Kentucky for a number of years now on wildlife habitat improvement programs on different areas that I frequent. And one of the things that came of that is I had the opportunity to teach a survival course to wildlife managers from the Wildlife Society from, I think it was 14 different universities. And it was a pleasure to work with those. Those are the folks that are gonna be out doing wildlife biology, woodlight management and stuff of that nature, forestry, throughout the eastern, southeastern United States. So one of the things that came of that was this cool t-shirt, but one of the things we discuss is developing ground nesting structures for wildlife. So one of the things that I have done prep work wise is I have already cut these big logs up off that pine tree that I showed you. What we're going to do is we're going to set these up in a way that ground nesters can get in here and set nest up. At the same time, we're going to utilize the machete to do everything else except what I've done right here. So let's get to it. So the first thing we've got to do is we've got to get these big logs situated in such a way that we can put stuff on top of them. Now this is pine, so it's not excessively heavy, but it's going to work perfect for what we're about to do. So what we want to create is an area where we can put logs down, and I'm gonna bring the rest of those up here, and we've already got one sitting here. I'm gonna lay these logs out next to this large tree that's fallen down, and what this is gonna provide is an opportunity, once we use the machete, to cover it all up as a ground nesting structure. What I wanna do is I'm gonna start gathering material that's, you know, somewhere around the size of my wrist or arm or something of that nature, at least that diameter. And I'm gonna set my sheath down because I'm not wearing it today, but again, that's a bomb-proof sheath. You can utilize the retention cord on your hand or not, it's your choice. I kind of like it because it has a shock absorber on this particular model. What I want to make sure is that when we're using a machete, it doesn't have as much heft to it and power to it as, let's say, a big axe, right? So we want to use it efficiently or we'll wear ourselves out. So we don't want to do 90 degrees, we always want to cut 45. And by cutting 45, we can make short work of these sticks. Now, I can continue to cut all that down, or I can just cut them off until I can break them off, depending upon what my needs are. But you can see the machete is going to make quick work of this wood. Now I'm gonna go ahead and admit that probably the best time of year to do this is in the winter when it's not so hot. But heck, I needed a good workout today. But as you can see, what we've done is we've taken a bunch of pieces that we both cut with the machete, some that we just found on the forest floor, and we've stacked them up where we can start building a tighter nesting structure. So the machete's done fantastic thus far. We've cut a bunch of pieces in short order. I mean, everything that we've cut maybe took 3 or 4 or 5 cuts at the most, and we're cutting through it. So that's a real useful basis for the design. Now we're gonna go out and cut the little stuff with this guy. So the mean camera lady keeps telling me that the microphone's messed up, so sorry about that if that's going in your ear right now. Now what we need to do is start cutting some smaller stuff, and here's some things that you can do with a knife. The machete's gonna make short work of it. But let's say you have a sapling or you have a smaller tree that you know is not conducive to the forest health or wildlife health. For example, these cedar trees have already done their work here, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut these down because it's not a problem for the forest health or the particular wildlife health in this area. So in essence, what I want to do is I bend the tree down, and you can see where it starts to stress, where if you can draw a 90 degree, it's going to be in the middle of that 90 degree. That's where I cut, and that's almost one swift cut that cuts it all the way through. However, we don't want to leave these big stumps sticking up, so we can come in, cut those real low. That makes sure that even the human hikers in the area are not causing a problem. Just do your best not to avoid digging deep down in the earth. I hit some of those leaves on the way, but hitting down in the earth's a problem for keeping the edge on the weapon. So let's make sure that we don't do that. So again, if you don't know your trees real well, maybe this is something you should avoid, but we're gonna go ahead and cut some of these live trees down. Again, you need to study forest management, forest stewardship, woodlot ownership, and stuff of that nature. And virtually any university or cooperative extension office, I don't know what they're called in your state, they come in and help landowners do that will help you. That way you can put your machete to good use. All I'm gonna do is go around now, cut a bunch of trees, then we're gonna pile them up. So as you can tell, the machete's doing like real quick work on the softwoods, like the pines and the cedars. Those are pioneer species. That's what a forester would call them. Pioneer species. They're a tree species that comes in and holds the ground till all the other trees get growing. Once the other trees get going good, they don't really serve a great purpose. I'm not saying that they don't have a purpose, but they don't have a great purpose in the woods. Another tree that can be almost as invasive is a good beech tree. Now they have some good wildlife opportunities for them because they put out beech nuts, but it's a little bit harder wood, so we'll see what the machete does to it. Again, we're going to bend it over till we find the stress point. There's the line, so right in there's that 45. One cut goes all the way through. So what we're going to do now is collect these materials and go put them on our nesting structure, and then we'll do some other work with the machete. Ooh, man, good way to get a workout in as well as do some good for the wildlife using my Wright Overland machete. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that this is the greatest solution. If you're cutting big material, obviously the better solution is a axe. However, as we've just demonstrated, if you really enjoy machetes, then this is probably a fantastic tool for you to take a look at and contact LT and get yourself one. I looked on their website today. They are incredibly affordable. I don't like saying prices because they might change, but they're entirely affordable for you. They have a Kydex sheath option. They also have this leather sheath option, I believe. I don't know, I don't think that was special for this particular one they sent me. This thing is nice, very nice. But what we always recommend at Nature Reliance School is you do everything you can to work with the environment and get instead of against the environment. Our thought is, I like to hunt. I like to rabbit hunt, I like to quail hunt, I like to turkey hunt. And so I'm constantly building nesting structures for them to be able to take care of their young, get away from predators, because predation is the #1 killer, as well as the elements of animals, not hunters. And so what we want to do is have plenty of them out there so we can continue to hunt and feed our family. As always in Nature Alliance School, come on, join in, let's learn together.